this is Shireesha from Master of Business Administration, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So now we are going to discuss about what are the different methods of demand forecasting. Right. So let's move on with what are the methods of demand forecasting. So what is this demand forecasting and why this demand forecasting methods or techniques has to be known by a person? Here, demand forecasting is a process where we are going to estimate what is the production, what is the demand in the market, so that one can estimate what can be the production. So for that purpose, to match the demand with supply, demand forecasting is really very important. So here it is not just simple or very easy to know or to forecast the demand. Just by putting some formulas, one cannot estimate what is the demand. So for that matter, here one must understand what are the different techniques available in demand forecasting, so that for the suitable product, which method is more apt, so that method is going to be allocated to predict the demand. So now let's know what are those different techniques which we have to understand what are the techniques which can be applied to know or to estimate the demand. So basically we divide demand forecasting techniques into two types, that is quantitative techniques and qualitative techniques. So coming to qualitative techniques, in qualitative techniques we have two methods called survey method and opinion poll method. So in survey method, again we have complete enumerated method and sample method. And coming to quantitative methods, that is time series analysis, smoothing techniques, econometric methods, and regression analysis and barometric methods. So these are the different methods or techniques which we have in demand forecasting. So now coming to these forecasting techniques, so let's understand one by one. So as we discussed, we have two types of methods, that is qualitative and quantitative forecasting methods. So quantitative methods are going to take or are the techniques which can be done through statistical methods. So until unless we have some historical data, one cannot go with applying these type of techniques. And coming to qualitative techniques, in qualitative techniques, we can apply this forecasting method for new starters or new products in the market. So here, this quantitative techniques are completely depending on some analytical techniques or on the data which is already there. And coming to qualitative techniques, it is depending on the subjective opinions of the customers or opinion of the people in the market. So this is about quantitative and qualitative techniques. So now let's understand one by one. So in this qualitative techniques, so first one is survey method. So survey method means here we are conducting certain surveys, and based on that survey we are going to collect the information about the product, and based on that we are going to forecast the demand. Okay, when the demand needs to be forecasted in short run, then we apply this survey method. Okay, so this method is most suitable when we are going with short run demand. Okay, so here for a particular time period we are going to estimate the demand using this survey method. Survey means we are just conducting some surveys and preparing some questionnaire and and collecting that questionnaire and making an analysis out of it. That is what is survey method. So, or we can also conduct some interviews. We can also take some interviews from the customers. So now in this survey methods, we also have two more methods, which is complete enumerated method and sample survey method. Complete enumerated method means here one must identify the potential buyers, and from those potential buyers they are going to collect the data from the potential buyers. Manufacturer is going to collect the data from potential buyers, and based on that purchase, like based on their future purchase plan, this method is going to be estimated. This is also a kind of survey method. They are conducting survey on buyers potentials and their future plans on the purchase of the products. So this is complete enumerated method. Here they are going to, here in complete enumerated method, a survey will be done on the whole region, on the whole population. And coming to sample survey method, here one is going to just collect the data only from the few buyers. So one is going to collect data from few buyers. They just identify out of the whole population. They are going to randomly pick few of the buyers and conduct interviews and conduct some surveys on that buyers about their purchasing plan. So now coming to demand forecasting in opinions poll method. So coming to opinions poll method, here a salesperson of a firm is going to predict the future sales of that particular region. So here in the survey method, here in survey method, all the estimations are done based on the customers and based on the buyer's potential. So here coming to opinion poll method, here a sales force or a salesman, he is going to estimate the demand at a particular region, because he is the person who always communicates with the buyers, so he can estimate what can the demand of a particular product. So he is going to estimate individually and calculate what is the demand for future. So based on, he estimates based on different factors like what is the future changes in the selling price. So what is the design of the product? Is there any competition for the same product? How the advertisement campaigns are going on? So what is the purchasing power of the customer? So based on all these factors, one like salesperson is going to estimate, and based on that he is going to predict the demand for the product, and he in turn estimates and gives to the manufacturer. So next one is expert opinion method. So here instead of those methods like qualitative methods, one can go with expert opinion method, and they also in expert opinion method, one is an expert is going to be deputed, where he is going to estimate the demand. He is going to carefully design the questionnaire, and based on that questionnaire he is going to collect the data and estimate the demand. And they also require to give the suitable reasons, required to give the suitable reasons, and they are going to share the experts to arrive at a conclusion. So opinions are going to be shared. And next one is this is the cheapest technique we have, because here only one expert is deputed, and he himself prepares the questionnaire and he collects the data, and based on that he is going to collect the he is going to conduct the assessment and analysis part of the demand estimation, and this is going to be the cheapest technique. And now coming to the next technique. that is time series analysis. So now coming to the quantitative methods in demand forecasting. So in this, the first one is time series analysis. So generally we have time series analysis. We have four components, that is seasonal variations and cyclic variations, trends, and uh, like random variations. So coming to seasonal variations are like to a particular season, the variations will be. So in summer season, we have mangoes. So this is a seasonal fruit. So custard apple is a seasonal fruit. So sales will be more at that particular moment, and rest of the year there will not be any sales for them, right? Because there will not be any product. So here are raincoats, utilization of raincoats. Raincoats will be used only at the time of raining or rainy season. So demand will be more at that moment, right? So rest of the season it will be off. Most probably it will be off. So here we study four different components of this time series analysis, so that we take the product of these components as well as we take the sum of all these components, which makes the time series analysis. So seasonal variations is that. And now coming to trend. So what is the trend in the market? Either we are going to have the long term trend or short term trend, and is it going to be linear or non-linear? All this has to be studied. And next, coming to the cyclical variations. So there will be like a wave kind of fluctuations in the variations. So here, when data exhibits rises and falls, and suddenly there will be a lot of increase in sales and lot of decrease in sales. So that is what is this cyclical variations. And coming to random variations, like sometimes due to lockdowns or due to strikes or knockouts, so or due to some like external weather conditions. So based on this, there will be lockdowns, or there will be some knockouts, or there will be strike by employees in the organization. So there may be many factors where there can happen closure of the production. So all these variations has to be studied, and the sum of these variations or the product of these variations will create the time series analysis. And now coming to the next one, that is smoothing techniques. So smoothing techniques are of four types: simple exponential, moving average, random walk, and exponential moving average. So coming to all this, so here data is going to be smoothed based on statistical approach, and it is going to eliminate the outliers from the data set to make the patterns and to make the proper patterns. And in this simple moving averages or random walk or exponential, here we are going to just estimate the demand for the averages. So what is this averages? Here, for example, the historical data we have for 10 years. Let us say we have historical data for 10 years. When we have historical data for 10 years, so we are just estimating the demand for using moving average method. So we can take either 2-yearly moving average, 3-yearly moving average, or 5-yearly moving average. We can take any moving average. So first 2 years we take the average of it, that becomes the third year estimated demand. Okay. Or if we are taking 5-year moving average, we take 5 years data and we take average of it. So that becomes the demand forecasting for the 6th year. Okay. So we estimate the demand like that using the historical data. So that is what is moving average. Okay. So now smoothing can help us in identifying trends, like how the trend is going on, what are the market conditions, what is the financial securities, and what is the condition of the economy. So that this is also one of the important technique. And now coming to the next technique, that is barometric technique. So barometric technique means here this is also kind of historical data based on the past demand of the product. We are going to try to estimate the demand for the future. So here the economic indicators are going to predict the future trend of the business. So as if the Sensex, for example, where how we can estimate that there can be like increase in the in index of the stock market. So that we can estimate based on the past data, right? So based on the economical conditions of the nation, so we one can estimate what is the trend of the business. So here based on demand for the product, we are going to estimate the product. So these economic indicators, like what is the leading indicator, what is the lagging indicator, one is going to estimate that, and based on that one is going to estimate the demand using this barometric techniques. For example, like how we can take this leading or lagging indicators. So based on economic indicators I told, right? So here based on one technique we are going to estimate the other technique, other product demand also. Here for example, what is the how many construction how many houses are constructed at a particular region. So based on that construction houses, how many construction houses are going on, based on that we can estimate how many TVs are required to be required at that particular region, right? So obviously there is no person now, there will not be TV in their houses, right? So we are estimating that based on the number of houses constructing at that particular area. We are estimating how many TV sets are required, or how many TV connections are required for that matter, not TV sets, right? So here we are estimating based on that factor. Okay. So just like that, here also some indicators will tell us this is the way to estimate the demand. And now coming to few statistical methods. Now coming to statistical methods, we have trend projection method and regression analysis. So trend projection method is here the organization is going to have sufficient amount of data, and that amount of data it is going to arrange in a proper manner, and based on the past trend, how the trend has more has gone. So based on the trend analysis, it is going to project what is the future demand. And coming to a regression analysis. So regression analysis means here we are going to study about two different variables. So here what is the for example, if we take we already know what is the marks of a student in mathematics. So based on marks of the mathematics, we need to estimate what is the marks in science. So here we are particularly studying about a student here. Okay, when we are studying about student performance, we already know what is the marks in what is the marks he got in mathematics. Now we are estimating what is the marks he would get if the marks in mathematics is 94. So we need to estimate for science. So just like that, we are here we are finding the relationship between these two variables. So mathematics is one subject and science is another subject. So based on these two subjects, we are going to find out what is the based on these two are variables and one is dependent and the other one is independent variable. So here we are finding out the relationship between these two variables and finding out what is the value of the other variable. That is what is a regression analysis. So here in coming to our concept, here we are estimating demand. To estimate demand, we are trying to find out what is the price of a good and what is the price of related good. So here whether we have independent variables or how many we have dependent variables. So we need not have only one or two variables. We may have n number of variables. One can be dependent variable, the other one can be independent variable. We may have only one independent variable and many dependent variables. So we are going to find out like what is the price of a substitute good. Okay, one substitute good. So based on the price of one substitute good, we can estimate what is the price of what is the demand for the other substitute good, right? So here it is correlated. So this forms a regression analysis. So we are estimating based on price of one substitute good, we are estimating demand for the other good, or in case of any complementary goods or substitute goods or any variable can be considered to estimate the demand in this condition. So this is all about regression analysis. So these are all the techniques techniques of demand forecasting. So thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.